Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Helen and I are up bright and early today.
5:50.
5:50. Yep. We had a very pleasant morning. That's a bit of sarcasm if you didn't get that.
It is.
So this morning, to keep it simple, we get a call from the on-site manager to say that the real estate are here to lock us out of the building. Now, Helen's Haven, we've been here for about 4 years now. Long time, and it's been a hard 4 years, right?
Yes.
We've endured COVID, the floods. We've put our, blood, sweat and tears. Not just us as well, like the community. We wouldn't have been able to achieve what we've done without...
Well, it's their money, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, right. People have donated,
Exactly
people have
right.
supported us to keep this centre going.
And what do we get for it?
Now, we've had a lot of disputes with the owner over the years. Now, unfortunately, we lease this building, we don't own it. It's on a commercial lease. They put us in here because they didn't want any competition with the pub, and we were
That's right. Nobody else could rent the building because it's a pub, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're the only ones that could do it.
Yeah. So
and everyone knows who it is
Yeah.
because we put the post up before. It's
Yeah.
Mr. Falvy from the Cecil Hotel.
yeah. Now, we haven't actually been able to have a conversation with them for at least 4 years now.
Why is that?
Because they refuse to actually speak with me.
Right. So we send the emails,
Yeah. So
and they don't want us to talk to us.
yeah, after the dispute about getting the recognition for the COVID deferred payments, which they wouldn't acknowledge, they breached our lease. And
They
then
took our bond.
They took our bond and then forced us into a legal battle. So sadly, we've been going through this, and the lovely lady from the commercial agency, I had this conversation with her to say, you know what, we've been trying to have these conversations for many years, and sending me the same letter and forcing me to spend thousands of dollars of community money making the same reply every 3 months is a waste of community money.
Exactly.
And it's a waste of time, right? It doesn't need to be this way.
All he has to do is come down and
Have a
talk to
chat,
us.
right?
Stop sending emails and stop sending demand notices and stop putting people in the forefront that are going to, you know what, come here and talk to us.
Yeah.
And let's resolve this.
Yeah.
Then we can work out how to get your money and how to move on.
Yeah. So look, our priority, as always, is to help the community.
We've just gone through Laurel's place.
Yeah, so I said to the agent, because I didn't make a payment in December. I was supposed to.
And we're not denying that we have some money owing
Yeah, we do,
for
right?
rent. We're not denying that.
A difficult time, housing crisis, and our charity is struggling. We put this call out multiple times. We've been in conversation with the housing department for many, many months about trying to get some financial support, and we're still crossing our fingers, but they're not particularly quick to act. But unfortunately, the commercial real estates are. So look, we need to get this resolved. We want to keep the support services going in our community for many years to come. We know that there is a lot of problems bureaucratic, there's a lot of problems within government at all levels, which is why Helen and I did put our hands up recently. So we can't help but feel it's a little bit...
Not recently. Let's tell it like it is. We had our campaign launch on Saturday, and all of a sudden, the demand notices and all the to-ing and fro-ing comes out today.
Yeah.
For 3 years. This has been going on. It comes out today. I'm not making any accusations against anyone, guys, but I'm telling you like it is, because this sort of stuff has to stop.
Yeah.
I have put 9 years of my life, and Steve has put a lot of years of his life into this place. And I am not going to sit by and watch people just think because we don't have any money and we're not funded that they can just go and walk over us. We just lost a house and had to evict families.
Yeah.
And it's not fair. All we want to do is have this guy come down, we will work it out and we will pay our debt. I'll put a mortgage on my house if I have to, but I am not paying for his roof, I am not paying for trees, I'm not paying for his plumbing. We have fixed all of that with community money. All of the money. And do you know how many people we can't help by fixing Falvy's plumbing? Heaps of them.
Yeah. And
Enough is enough.
there's real stuff here that, we need support to get resolved. And it ultimately comes down to people, right? Like there's vulnerable people here at the end. And I said to the agent, when it comes down to which bill I pay, it's not about your demand, it's about which family is in more crisis, right? It's about keeping kids off the street.
That's right.
These are the decisions that we have to make every single day. And they are not easy decisions to make, and this is certainly not something that we take lightly.
The cost of living has nearly crippled Goodna Street Life.
It has.
We have put every cent personally that Steve and I have to keep this place going.
Yeah.
Nobody gives us money. People that used to give us money, they've even gone. And do you know what?
And
Power to them, because I understand that, because nobody has anything.
Everybody is struggling.
Then how come the top of the food chain doesn't understand that?
Yeah.
Well, it seems to me like there's more than just him wanting to nez out of this property because nobody else can rent this property because it's a dump. It's as plain as that. So you have to ask yourself what's behind it and who's behind it. And whoever is, bring it on. Because Steve and I, we're not walking away. I'm not walking away from this, and I will not be bullied, and I will not be blindsided either by being the president of Goodna Street Life or running for council. And you know what? These are the reasons why we need to run for council.
Yeah.
We need to rid the rubbish, and we need to get people that are going to look after our community and put their hand up and go, you know what? People first, big business second. And this is where we've lost it.
Yeah.
And this is why we're in the predicament that we are.
Yeah.
Because people have the big people have just forgot about the little people. You know what? We'll go to council, we'll win, and we'll go in as little people, helping little people, big people, middle people, just people.
Yeah.
Now again, I issue this invitation to Mr. Falvy. We are here 7 days a week. We issue an invitation for 12 o'clock next Tuesday for you to bring whoever you like, your solicitors, your real estate, and we will sit here and we will work through everything. And we will get to an agreement, and we will honour that agreement with the expectation that you will honour your agreement. Now, this is not an email. This is a request out in public. 12 o'clock on Tuesday. But be prepared, and everybody needs to understand, if we have to battle this out legally, we will. We will. We're not going to walk away, and we won't be bullied away. Okay? And I need to make that quite clear.
And because it's not about us, right? This is it, right?
Exactly. It's not for us. I got a house. It's not for
stand
us.
up to bullies. That's how we've got them so far, right?
I got people that live here. Where did he expect we were going to put them?
Yeah.
Just put them out on the street.
Yeah, this is it, right? There's vulnerable people that we're trying to support and protect here. And while people that don't have a voice quite often just get pushed to the side and ignored because they don't have the money or the power to stand up for what's right. Helen and I aren't pushovers.
No, we don't have the money, but I'm telling you now,
what
we do have is we have the fight. And I will fight for Goodna Street Life to the end.
Right.
And when we get into council, we will fight for the residents to the end.
Yeah, that's who we are.
And we won't be bullied, and we won't be pushed aside for the of right.
Yeah, it's not about us. Everything that we do, everything that we have is is put into this service, to helping people, and we'll continue to do that.
And it has to be shown, and we are going to take this further, and we are going to show people that you just can't push people around. There's got to be a stop to this. It could have been stopped if 3 years ago on one of the emails that Steve sent to say come and talk to us. This all could have been averted. But again, I have to urge, it seems like a very timely idea to do it. And if it was to put us off our game, mate, you don't know me. But you have just made me 10 times stronger to fight to win this election and to fight for Goodna Street Life.
And for the people that we support.
And to fight for
and it's not
everybody.
just us, right? Like, I don't know if people know, like there's services and charities across Queensland which are being shut down. So like, when we started, there was 10,000 people that were actually housed in the supported services that aren't funded by the government, right? Now this number has been reduced down to 5,000. So over the last 6 years, it's halved, because people aren't getting the actual support. These services cannot survive and operate without the government actually recognising the legislation is weak and failed, is not supporting people, is resulting in people losing their homes. Because these properties where vulnerable people are being supported are just getting sold off and turned into high-rise buildings. They're getting shut down. So what that's actually happening now, and people don't know, is that all the supported accommodation, so we run supported accommodation, which should fit under a different category, and there's hundreds of these properties. There's 147 providers in Queensland, which manage a lot more than that in houses. These houses support people with disabilities, people with mental health problems. These aren't boarding houses, right? These are residential homes. The government has actually issued out notices to all of these agencies to say that you'll now have to kind of reclassify these residential houses as boarding houses.
Yeah, money.
Now,
Because that's what it costs.
people that reside in these spaces can't actually afford, like a lot of people don't go into them because they're looking to spend up to 95% of their pensions or their disability payments to actually take up residence in here where they get the supports that they needed. And with the government action here, what they're doing is actually going to force the cost of these services up.
go
So we're
up.
going to see hundreds of more closures. And I can't help but feel the only reason they're doing it is to boost the numbers back up within that category of service.
So they don't look bad.
So they don't look as bad. Notice that when people start to notice that, 5,000 beds are now missing from this crisis support space over the last 6 years.
And what's going to happen is, we know how it feels. We've been doing and helping people for years, and yet we had to sit there at Laurel's place and we had to watch people leave. We had to evict people.
With families and their kids, right?
Okay.
Just before Christmas.
Just before Christmas.
I tell you what.
And you know what? And the Minister for Housing got up there and basically said that she will work with us and she will keep working with us until it's resolved. And you know what? In their eyes, it's resolved.
No.
We're gone.
Yeah.
They're out on the street, or they did put people in some houses, but the fact is they're on their own now.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't have the support.
Without support.
Okay, so that is not exactly
It's not a resolution.
what people took as we will work with you.
Mm-hmm.
It means I will stay vocal until it all disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you picked the wrong people, because we're going to keep being vocal. We're going to keep going out there until somebody listens to reason.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Somebody's
because
got to
I
stand
am
up
not
for these
evicting
people.
any more people.
Yeah.
No more. No more people.
These people need representation. They need to be heard.
Yep.
And we feel like that they just get bullied and pushed aside because they are weak. And they don't have the capacity to stand up for themselves. They've been pushed down by the system, by the government, by the departments, by the real estates, by all these people for so long, the people with power.
Exactly right.
And they deserve a voice. They need to be heard.
Yep.
We cannot see any more families living on the streets, living in cars. I mean, this is what we do every single day, and these are the people that we're fighting for.
And you took food out to a family of what? 4?
Yeah, 4 kids.
4 kids
Parents
and
sleeping in a car.
sleeping in a car because they fell behind in their rent.
Yeah, that's it.
He
These
lost
kids
his
should
job.
be getting ready to go to school, right? Like these kids should have an opportunity.
So where are housing now? Where are they? Oh, let's see. They don't care.
Yeah.
So we'll keep feeding these people and we'll keep helping them.
Yeah.
And we will keep doing that
Yeah.
every single day.
Yeah.
And we will keep fighting for Goodna Street Life, and we will keep paying attention to our, what do you call it? Council elections.
That's it, right? We've got to
And-
get in
and
there.
we will keep
We've got to
doing
make
it.
sure that the people are represented,
Yep.
that the changes that need to be changed at a
Exactly
government
right.
level are actually made. And we'll get it done.
And actually do
That's what we
something
do.
constructive for Division 2.
Yeah. And it's not just us too. It's not just Division 2.
No.
Right? We get in there, we make these changes, and this is going to help people not only across Ipswich, but then we're going to set the new standard of how
Exactly.
governments at all levels should be caring for people in their community.
That's exactly
There's
right.
been a homeless crisis brewing here for decades, right? And decades of inaction is why we're in the situation we're in today. Enough is enough.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, when was the last time somebody fought? I mean, we've got pathways and that here in Goodna that people can't walk on. When was the last time somebody brought that to someone's attention? Why haven't they been fixed?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you now, they're coming to your attention.
Yeah, that's it. We're bringing it to the table.
Because my dad can't have his mobility scooter on those pathways because he cannot get around.
Talking about people with disabilities
We're
that
talking
can't actually navigate the
elderly. I mean,
streets
we're
of
an
our
elderly
community.
population here
Right.
in Goodna. When was
Yeah.
the last time somebody stood to the council and went, you know what, we need our pathways repaired?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Too busy on their own agendas, doing their own things.
Well, they don't see it, right?
We don't
It's
come as an
invisible to
agenda.
them. It's invisible
Well,
to so many people.
You know, how can it be invisible? Because if you're out there talking to the people, you're
Oh.
walking on the footpath.
That's because they're
So
not
how can
listening
that
to the
be?
people, right?
How can that be invisible? That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Own agendas.
Yeah. Well, they listen to the people
Okay?
who've got money and
And
power.
the only agenda that we have is to help everybody else. I don't have an agenda. I get up every morning and I work for Goodna Street Life. I go to bed every night to come to work for Goodna Street Life. That's my agenda, and I'll do the same with the
Yeah.
council, and so will Steve.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee we will fight for what it needs.
So look, you know, we'll still be here doing what we do.
Doing what we do, but don't forget, 12 o'clock next
Yeah.
Tuesday, We've invited Mr. Falvy and whoever he wants to bring.
Let's get it resolved.
And we,
I don't wanna spend
all
the
come in
wasting
with
more
new
community money on
attitudes and everything like that.
Yeah.
Don't spend any money, and we can resolve this.
Yeah.
So please, Mr. Falvey, come down.
See us?
Come down and see us so that we can stop all of this.
And I want to
like
put out,
we've been asking.
I want to put out too that call. Like we've been trying to get the housing minister, well, several housing ministers. We've been through 4 of them now, I think. To probably actually come and see us and have a chat with us, right? We weren't created because we thought, standing on the street helping homeless people would be a fun thing to do, right?
No.
We came out here because we saw a need, we saw people needed help and nobody else was actually doing anything. So we stood up to do something.
And we sent the invitation over Laurel's place, didn't we?
I've been sending them for years, right? I've been trying to get a meeting in that office for the last 6 years.
I mean, she stood by and watched 30 people evict out of a homeless centre. And didn't even bother to come and talk why. I don't know how much it cost her to get these people out, but I know it would have cost about $30,000 to keep them there.
Yeah, but even just, like I said, I sent them an email to say, come down and see and have a conversation here. You aren't actually acknowledging it's not about us, it's about these people that we're trying to support. They're left without a voice in this whole process. And they're just not getting attention. They're not getting, that recognition that they're actually human beings here.
And then this is exactly right. But the thing that they're not getting is that why are they there? Why is there a need for us to keep doing what we're doing?
I love the fact that, even though we've had to close down the Family Crisis Centre because of all of these problems, right? We made the decision to say we need to try and help as many people as we can and keep our services going. So we had to close that building down because we got no support from the government to actually keep it running, and the community can no longer keep to fund and do the government's job for it.
No.
Now we made that decision. It was the hardest decision that we've ever had to make. What I want to see, right, is come down and have a chat to us and talk to us about how we make it better. I'll come into your office if you like. I've been trying to get an interview or a meeting in there for years. Please accept the invitation or allow me to come in and have a conversation so I can introduce you to the people that we're trying to support, so you can see them as real human beings that need recognition and help. Let's fix the broken system and let's make sure that this doesn't happen again.
That's it. Right, Sue, ask your daughter and her partner to come down and see us.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll see what we can do. Sue's just put a thing in that her daughter and partner are living in the car because they can't get a house.
They're still sending people to us too, right? Like
the government.
Yeah. I still get
government
calls
funded
every day.
Every day.
Every day.
From government funded facilities. Yeah. What can we do? Can you help us out? We've got nothing.
Yeah, we've got
can you help us out? We've got
people
nothing.
Sleeping in cars or whatever it might be.
Exactly right.
They're government funded, so they're not allowed to actually, take tents out to people or to take any other supports out to them because they'll be in breach of contract. They'll lose their funding.
That's exactly right. But we do.
The system's broken.
The system is definitely broken in all aspects of society these days. But guys, hang in there. We will do some more.
Yeah.
We're not going to lie down. Goodna Street Life is not going anywhere.
Yep.
I can tell you that. Or is Helen's Haven. At the end of the day, we may not be doing it out of here, but I can guarantee you one thing. We'll be doing exactly what we're doing all the time.
Yeah, that's it. We don't do it for gain. We don't do it for money. Sorry.
No.
Shouldn't laugh, but yeah, it's true, right?
We definitely don't do it for money.
But we're going to keep helping people because it's who we are, it's what we do, and we need more people to do it.
But if you do have the means to help out and help us resolve this, please personal messages.
Yeah.
If we don't, it doesn't matter.
I want Goodna Street Life to actually be able to buy this building. The only way, because we've got no air conditioning. As we've been closing during the week because it's so hot in this building. We haven't had air conditioning for 5 years. Well, 5 years, how long? Because it stopped working when we moved in. We haven't had aircon in here, just basic stuff, right? We have to keep on spending money to repair this building, and I can't...
Every time it rains, we have to buy more roofing because the water leaks in, and we've been complaining about that for 5 years.
Yeah. So we want to be able to buy the building and get the repairs done so we can actually make sure that the tenancy and the services that we run can sustain for years and years to come.
Oh, that's exactly right. My grandchildren, their grandchildren, if we bought this building, Helen's Haven and Goodna Street Life, we've got the people, we've got the passion. Yeah. What we need is the building.
We need the building.
And we'll have people, and that means that everybody can be rest assured that in our area, everybody's needs will be met, and that there is people caring about them, even if other people out there in the government
all the
don't.
time, right? Like homelessness is not something that can just be magically.
And it's going to get worse, Stephen.
It's going to get a lot worse.
It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse before if it gets better.
Yeah.
And
it's not going to simply go away, right?
No.
We need services in the community, and we've been fighting for those services for so long, and we're going to keep fighting. We're going to make sure that these services are here to remain. Like I remember over COVID, like there were services that were shutting down because they couldn't, they were getting funding, but they couldn't survive. And we fought through. We've managed. I don't know how. Some days I do not know how to keep this going.
But we do.
But we do, and we're going to keep on doing it. And with your help. We can keep providing the support for many, many years to come.
And your support. Share this around. Make sure everybody knows. The further these type of things go, the more recognition and the more the government has to do something about it.
Yeah.
So share these things.
Yeah.
Like get angry and get involved.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's going to take for people to get angry at what's happening and get involved with it. And people power. You can't beat it.
That's it.
And we're all the same. We're all on the same boat, doing the same for the same people.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for listening to us. And,
thank you, guys.
Hopefully we will have a meeting on Tuesday. We will keep going forward with Goodna Street Life. And we have people in place for when we hopefully get elected to the council. And from there, we will keep going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.